Shalom, my friends, from here in Israel. It is a really hard morning in Israel today as we await the bodies of Shiri and Ariel and Kfir Bibas to be returned, buried in Israel. Shiri and her two babies, 1-year-old and 3-year-old, were brutally taken by Hamas on October 7th. And this is definitely one of the hardest mornings since October 7th in Israel. We've been waiting for this moment for them to come home, but it was only confirmed yesterday that they're going to be coming home in body bags. And I think the reason why it's so hard for Israel and really people who stand with freedom and cherish life around the world is because it's so clear that a mother and 2 little children are in no way a negotiating tool of war, that there's no way to rationalize the fact that they were brutally taken on October 7th from their homes and brought into Gaza by gunmen. And we were holding on to hope the whole time. Maybe they'll be returned. Maybe they'll be able to come back and start their recovery. Maybe they'll be able to come back to Israel and we'll all take care of them and we'll nurture them and we'll let them know that they're not alone. And they really became the symbol of October 7th, that innocent people were taken, 1,200 innocent people inside of Israel killed. And the fact that this mother and 2 little babies were brutally ripped from their homes by Hamas gunmen and marched into Gaza represents the evil that Israel is facing. That there's no excuses, there's no rationalization, there's no reason why this is happening besides the fact that it's pure evil, that they themselves have said that they're not going to stop until Israel is gone, until every Jewish person is killed. And so I think for the people of Israel, we've held on to hope that Shiri and Ariel and Kfir would come home and we'd be able to somehow recover together from October 7th and the trauma and heartbreak that it's done to all of us, this knowledge that we have to face evil in the eye. One of the other men that's coming home today in a body bag, a grandfather from the Lipschitz family, he spent his whole life helping others, including Gazans. He spent his whole life driving people from Gaza to hospitals in Israel to get the medical care that they need. And even though he dedicated his life to helping the people of Gaza, they didn't care. They kidnapped him and they killed him and they're returning him in a body bag. And so today's a hard day. It's so very similar to October 7th. On October 7th, we were reminded, we were forced to look in the eye at evil and say it exists. Before that, we wanted to believe that we had partners for peace, that it was just the terror group, that there were so many innocent people in Gaza that wanted to have peace, and we would eventually find a way to work with them. And October 7th broke that bubble. It popped that bubble completely for the people of Israel, where we saw there aren't really many, if any, innocent Gazans. They were celebrating the taking of these bodies. They were celebrating the terrorists who came into Israel and murdered 1,200 men, women, and children. They joined it. And when the bodies of Israelis were brought back to Gaza on October 7th, all of the civilians came around and lynched the bodies and celebrated this success for them. And it was so hard for the people of Israel who cherish life, who value life, who have hope for the future, who say, no, if we could just give them hope, then everything will be okay, to look in the eyes. And just like it says in the Bible, Ohavei Hashem sinu ra, lovers of the Lord despise evil. On October 7th, we were forced to look at our neighbors a mile away from our children's parks and say, that's evil. That is Amalek. That is Haman. That is Sodom. And today, we held on to hope for over 500 days that the Bibas babies would come home. They feel like all of our babies. And today that has been popped. And once again, we're looking at evil in the eye and saying, Ohavei Hashem sinu ra, lovers of the Lord despise evil. That they could take children from their bed and their mother. And they got to Gaza on October 7th alive. We have videos of that. And they killed them. They killed them and then negotiated to return their bodies. So we're forced to look at evil in the eye, and I feel God saying to us, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue as if nothing happened? Or are you going to realize this is a threat to all of the values, everything that's holy? And what that looks like, I don't know. But I know it can't continue like this. Israel can't be living a mile away from animals who steal and murder our children. And the world shouldn't stand for it, because Israel is just the first. The world is next. They themselves in their doctrine say first they're going for the Saturday people, the Jews, and then they're going for the Sunday people, the Christians. First they're going for the little Satan, Israel, then they're going for the big Satan, America. And if we don't open up our eyes now by seeing these two little babies and their mother coming home in body bags, taken from their homes, murdered, if we don't open up our eyes now, it's going to spread way beyond the border of Israel. So those are my thoughts this morning as I had to pull over from not being able to see through the tears. The people of Israel are distraught. We've been praying, and we've been reminded sometimes the answer is no.